People on the line, so it could be good morning.
Oh my gosh, look at all these beautiful faces.
This is awesome. So, hi, everybody. My name is James Lenhart, and this is
Angel, nice to see you all.
Miss Whitmire here. We are so excited to come to you live tonight. As you can see, this is what we call a community huddle. One of the things you'll know about Partner Co. is we are all better together. And at the end of our call tonight, we are going to say a little prayer for little baby Jaden. Just have him in your prayers. There is some medical things going on, but we know little warrior is going to pull right through. He's just having a little bit of a hiccup. He just needs some oxygen. It's cool. So we have all our prayers with him, and just keep him in your prayers too. So we kind of came together for tonight just to have a joint community huddle, and just talk about a lot of the systems of success that people are using on social media. Social media is one of those things that, if used correctly, is a wonderful tool in your arsenal. If used incorrectly, can be a massive distraction, and a way that you can say, oh, my business is not growing because I'm not getting likes, I'm not getting comments, all these different things. And so tonight's kind of, if you want to call it a topic, or a title, it's really how to use social media as a tool, not a solution. Because I think a lot of people might use social media as like, oh, this is how I'm going to go viral. This is how I'm going to get lots and lots of customers. And that could be true. But tonight, we're really going to focus on fundamentals of social media. And that's what tonight is all about. We've got a couple people that are going to be sharing tonight. We've got collaboration going on. So we are going to have a blast. So without further ado, one of the things that we want to talk about first to kick this off is really kind of the fundamentals of Facebook, of or really just social media in general, and what are these like 5 pillars that you can look at. So make sure, get your notebooks out, but this is recording too, so you'll be able to check out the recording as well.
Take notes.
Take notes. But Miss Angel Whitmire, just to gloat on you a little bit. Right now in the company, she's a senior officer. She's enrolled over 200 people direct to her. She has gone from about 500 people to over 20,000 people on social media. And again, those numbers aren't something you're like, oh, now I've got to get 20,000 followers. No, you don't. If you have one, you're good to go. It's the ability to go from where you are now to where you want to be in your businesses. And so tonight, Angel's just going to share a little bit of some strategies and some things to look out for as you're building your influence on social media, and how to use it as a tool versus a solution. So take it away.
I'm so honored to be here with all of you tonight. Thank you so much for hopping on, and thank you for just rolling with it, right? We're all one big family, so I'm so excited to be here with all of you tonight. And so one thing I want you to really focus on when we start talking about social media is knowing that this is a tool to grow your business, right? I think when we first got on social media, on Facebook, it was really about just showcasing our life and our family and our friends and pictures of ourselves. And it was more of like just a social thing.
Mhm.
But guess what? It's still a social thing,
Yeah.
right? And I think we've gotten away from that, right? I think when we get into a business and now it's like all we think about of like how promoting on social media is just all business, all product, right? It's like a billboard. Where I think we need to go back to like when we first started social media. And yes, we are posting about our life and our kids and our pets and all the things, but also knowing it's a strategy to grow your business
Purpose.
too. There's
Right.
there's a purpose behind it and an intention behind it. So every post that I do has an intention behind what I do. Okay. So I'm going to go over 5 things that I feel like really will help take your social media to the next level. And really, I think is like the basics of like what we do on social media and why we do it, sort of thing. Okay. So the first thing is having a strategy, just like what I said. There's a strategy behind using social media. It's again, not just throw things up there and hope it works, right?
Post and
There
pray.
should be a strategy on what you're doing. Okay. So there should be goals and objectives. What are you doing this for? What are you going to define what you want to achieve on social media? Okay. What I want to achieve is to inspire people, to motivate people, to add value to people, but also to convert or to have conversations, to then maybe conversions, right? And building relationships. So that's my strategy and defining what I would love to do on social media. Okay. Especially in this day and age as a home based builder. So also knowing your target audience. Okay. This is huge because everybody's target audience is going to be different. Okay. What's your demographic that you're posting to? What's your target market? What's the person that you were before
Huge.
getting into this business? Are you posting to that person, right? Or are you posting for the person that you want to partner with? Okay. So you have to really focus in and hone in on who is your target market that you're going towards. Okay. Maybe it's a mom, a stay-at-home mom. Maybe it's someone that's around your age, right? Maybe you're in that let's say empty nester stage, right? So maybe you're going to talk to moms that have kids that are now out of the house. Maybe it's your grandma, right? That's your target market is grandma, right?
Or
Maybe
glamour.
Glamour, right? I see Donna. I think of her right here. And maybe that's your target market because those are people you can relate to, right? They're going through the same things maybe that you're going through, right? And so they could relate to what you're sharing, right? Maybe you're an athlete. Maybe you're into health and wellness. You can speak to those people. So having that target market or that demographic is really, really huge when you go to post.
Yeah. And you want to always be thinking about, what would stop your scroll?
Mhm.
Like when you go on social media, when you go on Facebook, what makes you slow down? Or what made you slow down before you got into this
Yeah.
business? And that's what really you want to post to that person so they slow the scroll and they're the ones that are going to comment on your posts.
Right. The next one is still under strategy is platform selection.
Ooh,
I get this
huge.
question all the time. They're like, what platform do you use? I still love Facebook. I get 90% of my sales from Facebook. Okay. But I am 45. So I did start social media and Facebook years ago, right? So I would say about 11, 12 years ago, before my or right after my sales. But maybe you're younger and maybe you love Instagram. Maybe that's your jam, right? Or maybe you want to attract more business builders and you're on LinkedIn,
I
right?
love
Maybe
LinkedIn.
that's your jive.
Yeah.
So what always suggest is pick one and run with it, okay? And kind of stay with it. I mean, yes, you can experiment and go off, but what is working for you? Where are you getting the most sales? Where are you getting the most engagement, the most comments, right? And maybe sticking with that.
Yeah, and
So
that's huge because every platform has a purpose and an algorithm that changes all the time, and consistency is always going to win. That's really what we talk about all the time. And so you want to go, okay, I'm going to stick with Facebook or Instagram. Like you said, you can experiment and go outside, but don't go, okay, I'm going to go master TikTok from 0 to 1,000, because by the time you master it, guess what happens? It completely changes, and so it's always changing. So always be conscious of that as well.
saying that you can
Yeah,
experiment with
huge.
others, right? Obviously, I have Instagram and Facebook, but again, I would say 90% of my sales come from Facebook.
And in the chat, share where are you socially? Are
Yes,
you on Facebook? Are you a grammer? Are you a TikToker talker type person?
Facebook.
Let us know where you're coming in from. I know some people that are using Pinterest again.
Oh,
Pinterest is
Pinterest has
coming
been
back
huge for
around.
people. Yeah.
So I would love to know, where are most people on here? We got Facebook, Instagram mainly. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you're all kind of the same
It
crew.
depends on the age too sometimes. Then the next one is just focus on the one that will deliver the best results for your brand,
Yeah.
right? What is your brand? Okay. Number two is content creation. Okay. I think everyone's probably heard this term.
Yep.
Content is king.
Or queen, whatever you want to call
Content is king. Okay. So you want to be posting every single day some sort of content. Okay. So, what are content types? That could be images of yourself, photos of yourself or your family, or things that you love to do. It could be videos. It could be just an uploaded video. It could be reels, any kind of video.
it.
It could be infographics. So, if you're talking about the product, maybe it's an infographic to show like the benefits of the product, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It could be a blog. Maybe you love to write. Maybe you're, what do you call it?
Blogger,
Well, writer, but
copywriter. That's
copywriter.
me.
Like James, he's amazing at writing. But you have ideas in your head that you could blog about, right? That's great. People love to dive into that kind of stuff,
And
right?
there's ways we'll talk about too, is how to promote things like that, because Facebook, and especially Facebook, doesn't like you to share links
Mhm.
and have people go outside of the platform. So there are ways, like let's say like you do a lot of wellness posts where you're like, hey, here's a recipe or whatnot. It's you don't want to post the link to the recipe or the recipe. You post a picture of the food and say, hey, if you want the recipe, let me know. And then that's going to create conversation. So everything is about how am I going to take this into a conversation? Because, like you say, money is in the
Messenger.
yeah, that's where the money all is. The money's not on posting. I
Yeah.
think it's where people, even because especially we do a lot of testimonial photos. I know a lot of teams use testimonial photos. Some do, some don't. But we do use testimonial photos either in a pin post or on our feed. And you want to do those in a way that's going to spark conversation,
Mhm.
not have somebody go, oh, wow, that person lost so much weight. Let me buy the drops. That's not the goal here. The goal is to create that conversation because, hey, they can become a brand partner. So,
Yes, and it could be one little line at the end and saying, "Hey, we have more of these testimonies in our testimonial group.
yep,
Testimonial group.
yep,
Drop group below, and I'll add you."
yep,
Right.
huge.
So it's just having those call to actions too. Um, and the next one is visual appeal. Okay, you want to make sure that what you're posting is visually appealing to the eye.
Good lighting.
Okay, not saying you have to have your makeup done, hair done every single time, but you want to have good pictures that stops the scroll, right? You want to have good lighting. So if you don't have a ring light like what we have on our face right now, you could stand in front of a window,
Yeah,
have your face towards
best
the
one.
window and take your photo there. Okay. Lighting is everything. I promise you. It'll help stop the scroll so much more when you have visually appealing graphics or pictures of yourself, right? Another tip is clean the lens of your phone
Small.
before you take a picture. How many women on here have been guilty of like, God, that's so blurry. Why? Oh, my lens is so dirty, right? From makeup or whatever. Clean your lens before you take a photo. Okay. I promise this will help a lot.
And
So,
that's the thing, like
little
like
tip
like you
there.
said too, they don't have to be perfect photos. Those, especially your profile with James
Oh,
the other
create
day.
a profile picture of yourself.
Person. Make it a you, not a cat.
Yeah.
And I was funny. I was talking to James yesterday, and I love his profile picture because it's so easy to find.
Mhm.
It's got the orange background. I'm like, oh, there's James. It's so easy to
Yeah.
find him. And so make something that people can find in their messenger, and they know that it's you, not just like you next to the Christmas tree from like 90 yards away. Make it a clean picture of yourself. Use a window. Use lighting. Make it simple.
And then do value-based content, right? You're adding value. What will people want to know from you or make them want to lean in of like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Right.
I was so grateful to learn that from you today.
One of the
Right.
places to get awesome value-based content is Partner Co's blog.
Hmm.
Now, this is not go on Partner Co's blog and share Partners Co blog, but go on Partner Co and look at their blog. There are thousands of pieces of content that you can go grab from there that are educational. You can share, you can grab images from it and share little pieces of those content. Because again, everywhere has content for you to share. If you're like, I don't know what to share, there's thousands of places that you can go. Just Google it and you can find the content.
Yeah, and if you're a wellness expert, I mean, there's so many different tips,
Yeah.
right? I was just talking to a mom the other day where her daughter was having a fever, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, do you have peppermint oil? Do you have lavender oil?" And like that's stuff that I could be adding value to, right? I should be posting about that
Right.
because there's lots of mamos with kids, and I have a better way to treat the fever than using Tylenol, right? And so I need to be better about that as well. But adding value, what is it that you could talk about without having notes?
Huge.
That's what I think about when I'm trying to add value to someone, right? Or something on my social media. So number 3 is community management. So engagement. Okay. You're actively engaging with your audience by responding to comments, messages, and you're showing appreciation for their support.
Yep.
Okay. This is huge. They took the time to love your post. They took the time to send you a private message. They took the time to say, "Hey, I'm watching you," right? And so we want, I know we're always looking for comments and we're always looking for likes and loves and all the things. Are you giving it back?
Yeah.
Right? I know we do talk about the social sandwich and we'll talk about that more tonight, but are you engaging with your audience because they are watching you?
Mhm.
Okay. And whoever's following you, you want to be just as diligent with commenting on their stuff as well and showing the love and giving it back. So making sure you're doing that. And then moderating your social media as well, as far as like if you have negative comments or if you have spammers, making sure you're deleting that. You want to keep it positive and light. Now, I'm not saying about politics, religion, none of that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Use your Facebook. It's your storefront. That's where people are going to go learn about you. So keep it clean.
Mhm.
And again, like you said, this is not, should you talk politics or religion or what should you post about? But you do want to appeal to as many people as possible. If you decide to be polarizing, just know you might come with some polarizing things that come out there. And again, you want to make it so where you're using Facebook for what it's meant for, and that's for you to build your business on. It's literally free marketing. I want you to put that on if you're taking notes, put on notes. Social media equals free marketing. Because again, if you're not at 5,000 friends yet, that's the goal. The goal is to get there as soon as possible because that's marketing you don't have to pay for. And so make that kind of number one goal is as fast as you can is get to that.
Yes. So number 4 is building relationships. So you're going to build a rapport with your followers by showing genuine interest in their feedback. Again,
Genuine interest.
this is social media is to be social and to build relationships. So I'm not on there just to get a sell and to sell you something and then I'm done with you kind of thing, right? They are your friend for a reason. And I have people all the time that say, I have, 3,000 friends, but I don't really know them.
Mhm.
They took the time to accept your friend request. They're your friend. I treat all my friends as my friends, okay? Even if I don't personally know them, they are potentially a prospect for me, right? But I'm not going to go to every single person like, "Hey, you want to buy my drops? Hey, are you interested in the business? Hey, you want to make money on the side?" No, I build relationships with people first.
Yeah.
I'm not one too to come in your inbox and be like, "Oh my gosh, how's your family and your kids and all the things?" If
Rapport building.
I don't know them,
Yeah.
right? There's different ways to do that. First, it would be to like and love on their posts and stuff like that, warming them up, right? So you don't want to be weird and oogie in someone's inbox. So don't do that.
No hey girls. No hey girls.
Who was it that said that on the call the other
That
night? It
was
was
Todd.
hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny.
And then number 5 is knowing your 5 things about you that you want to post on social media. Okay. So I always say, what are 5 things that represent you? Because people always ask me, what do I post for my lifestyle posts? Well, what do you love to do?
Right.
Like, do you have kids? Do you have a hobby? So my 5 are my faith, my family, health and wellness, travel and adventure, and then business. So I want you to do homework tonight and be like, what are my 5 things that I love
Mm.
to do? Maybe your grandma. Maybe the love of your life is are your grandkids, right? You want to showcase your grandkids. Maybe you love cycling. Show you outside cycling because that can attract new people to you. They're like, oh my gosh, I love to cycle too. We should go cycle sometime, right?
Let's go cycle.
Maybe you're a mama, show your kids. Maybe you are faith-based, share scripture. I don't know what else. You golf, like if you like golf, like different things like that. Your dogs, yes,
Well,
dogs.
and I think this is a good point too. When you talk about like what to post, a lot of people all see, they'll go see a post that does well and they'll copy and paste that post.
Mhm.
What does well on Pam's post on Pam's wall might not do well on mine. That's like the whole thing on what was that number 2, know your audience. So if I do a post about, hey, help your hormones, it probably won't do well because most of my followers are guys and business people. And so you want to do things to your audience. So things that I post, if you take it verbatim and bring it onto your wall, it might not work because my audience is a lot of people that have been in business in the direct sales industry. And I'm speaking to that. I'm speaking to the person that I was when I wanted to get into this industry and I wanted more freedom. And I'm speaking to the experienced business person that's looking for a new stream of income. And so know that, when you go look at somebody's wall, do not copy and paste, copy and tweak. Make it your language, make it your voice. That's really what you want to focus on.
Right. And don't get so caught up in like, oh my gosh, I have to do a product post and a business post and it be the same thing every time.
Yeah.
Okay. Try to think outside the box of like, how could you be speaking to like a business post could be even me just sharing about like, I got to go to my best friend's wedding a couple weekends ago, Kristen, to Colorado, and I took my daughter to our school. We went from Thursday to Monday, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I would have never been able to do this having a full-time job like in corporate America. Like that's a business post, even though I'm talking about my daughter, right? Doesn't have to be about Partner Co. It doesn't always have to be about the product, the drops and showing the drops, stuff like that. Think outside of the box. How can I use this in a different way that it would attract somebody to be like, oh my gosh, I need that. Like for me, like how I got started in network marketing, like I said, I was scrolling social media and I saw someone on an incentive trip. Guys, we've been on incentive trips, we've been to events, right? Post those pictures. Say, "Oh my gosh, this was such an amazing experience. I got to go to the Bahamas, fully paid for. It was a life dream," right? And people are like, "Wait, how'd you go to the Bahamas? Fully paid? Like what?" So just think outside the box when you're posting like that, and just know that it's not the end all be all every single time, because I stress too sometimes like, oh, what do I gotta post? I gotta make sure people are like, I gotta make sure people are purchasing. I gotta make like it, we can get overwhelmed, right? Although when I was in Colorado for 3 or 4 days, like I wasn't as tuned into my social media. I was still posting, but I wasn't as
Engaged,
engaged,
yeah.
right? I sent like 4 brand partners that weekend. And I was like, oh, it's just a reminder we're planting seeds every day,
Yeah.
right? And so just knowing it's going to happen and you don't have to be fully on your phone 24/7 to make it happen. And so again, using social media, using Facebook to grow your business, but be a human too,
I think
not
that
a billboard.
I think that's a good analogy too. You look at Facebook as a field.
Mhm.
Like you're just literally putting seeds in the field all day, and seeds don't sprout right away. Like they actually have to be watered and sunned and all that kind of stuff. So when we talk about, the 1, 2, 3 strategy that we talk about on all the calls and all the teams talk about it, why do I listen to the BOC every day? Now you can listen to the BOC, the Breakfast of Champions, to get motivated and inspired, and it's an awesome call. That's content gathering.
Yeah.
So when you hear content on that and you hear a spark, oh, that was a great thing that Dana Harper said, or that was a great thing that Danielle Singh said. That was a great thing that James said. Whatever that is, you can grab that, put it on your social. Now, why would you do that? Because you're trying to attract people that go, ooh, I like that stuff. You're
Mhm.
looking for those people that are wanting to do that. And we'll talk about at the end of this call how to really promote events online. And we have so many things that we can promote. We have an awesome event coming up tomorrow night that is all about what we're doing here in this industry, and it's going to be amazing. We'll talk about how to promote that. But again, it just comes down to being a person on social media and showing up as your authentic self. Good,
Absolutely. Yeah.
cool. Let's move on to our
Interesting.
next. What's that?
Go ahead.
Yes.
Sorry.
I was going to say, we're going to move on to our next little segment here because we got a couple speakers that want to come on here. And what we want to kind of shift to, because we're talking about what to post and how to post and all these different things. And we want to go into this idea of really mastering the social sandwich. You might call it the engagement sandwich, you might call it the Facebook sandwich, whatever you call it. The whole idea of this social sandwich is first and foremost, it's being consistent. It's having something that you do every day, no matter what, and making sure that you're consistently creating engagement on your social media. And one of the things that I want to dive into before we go down this path is, I want to show you the social media here of a couple people. The first thing, because I think that the easiest way to know, who to follow and who to like look after are people that are posting consistently on social media, because you want to see how they're doing it. And it's always good, like you said too in the beginning, clean up your social, because it comes down to going, okay, if I were to come on Pam's social media and scroll, what would I see? If I were to go on Joanne's social media and scroll, what would I see? And you want to audit your own social media and go, if I scroll and all I see is particle, 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 all that kind of stuff, most people might silence that. You want people to reach out to you and ask what you're doing. I had somebody the other day ask me, like, they've been in the industry for a long time, and they're like, "Hey, is that drops company?" They didn't even know what it was, because again, it was creating that curiosity is really what we're looking to do.
And guess what? You can always delete posts.
Yeah,
It's okay. You can always delete posts.
it's
And
massive.
you can always recycle posts. I do that a lot. Like if I had a post that did really well like 6 months ago, I'll repost it. I don't share it again. I basically take the words and repost it as a new post. But yeah, you can recycle your stuff for sure.
Well, so let's see if anybody in the chat knows what are the pieces of the social sandwich. Like, what are the pieces? If I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to do my social sandwich today, what's the first thing that I need to do? Because the reason it's called a sandwich is it's got two pieces of bread. And some of the bread they've got ingredients in the bread. And so, the post is actually the meat, between the slices. But the
Interesting.
slices are made up. So you've got comment on 10. What's another one? You got comment on 10 posts. We're going to show you a trick to do this, and 10 stories, right? And again, it comes back to what we were talking about before. What's our purpose? Why are we doing this? Are we just doing it to just comment on stories and comment on things? No, we're doing it to create engagement so people come to see your color block post on your wall. That's why we do that color block post, is so when people are doing these things, that's what they're going to come and see. So what we want to go through is just a couple ideas of how, and some tricks on how to do this fast, because that's one of the things we want to talk about tonight. So I don't know, do you want to bring on Miss Tiffany?
Yes, I would love to bring on Tiffany Hardy. We were on one of our action hours this week, and she gave us an amazing tip on something I didn't even know how to do on how to really find the people that are actually active and actually posting, and people that you haven't seen in a while. Remember, because we're always saying go to friends that, number one, are in Partner Co, and then number two, that maybe you haven't spoken to in a while. And she showed us a really cool trick. So I wanted her to be able to come on, and we'll share our screen and show them, Tiffany. But if you could just walk us through kind of what you found out and what you're having success with this.
Okay. So searching the friends list, I noticed it took it took a lot longer. And you were always for me, it was I was searching and I was finding I've got 5,000 friends on my list. So I was finding that a lot of them were also dead in the water, or it was a lot of people that may not have been online for a long time. So I found more people to delete a lot of times than to always comment on. So for me, I end up coming in here, and you would go to your menu. If you're on a cell phone, you go to your menu. On here, you'd go to your feeds. You click feeds right here, and you would end up, yeah, you're gonna click your feeds. Yep. And then on the feeds, you'd end up clicking friends. This brings you back to like Facebook 10 years ago. Okay. If you remember Facebook 10 years ago, it used to be sorted by the last most recently posted people. Okay, that's how it used to get sorted. So the person who posted 1 minute ago, 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, you'll have some sponsored people in there. If you just exit out, they kind of disappear after a while. So now I have almost no sponsored people in this feed. But because that's a lot of times things that we say or talk about, it picks up after a while on us. But yep, spam. Yep, exactly. I was showing him that earlier. Dude, always report it as spam.
Having fun with it.
And so, yep, exactly. So, what you'll notice is these are the people that are currently active, currently just posted, that you're going to get an immediate response from. So, the way I always do it is I go in here every time I'm going to do an engagement sandwich because I want an immediate response. So, I always comment with an open-ended question on every single one of these people. I'll find 10, 15 of them real quick because I can do them quickly. And I'll comment on 10 to 15 of them quickly with an open-ended question. I know they're going to respond to me right away, and they're going to probably look at my page. Most of the time, they're coming and looking at my stuff right away too. All right. And so we're engaging immediately. And you're going to see that as soon as I go from here to my stories, then because a lot of the people that in the stories are a lot of active people also, like within your first few stories. I'll a lot of times not always click on the first beginning stories. I'll click on the end story. That's another little tip trick there. I'll click on toward the end story, not the very first story. So you get their most active recent story that they did. So that's another little thing I do. But for this, you go to the friends, I'll comment on these people so it's easier to search. Another thing that I do though in this area, if you click on groups, this is something else I was talking about earlier that I do. So you can get like for me, I always train on and tell people to go to their groups, okay? And add groups constantly of niches that you look for. So like I tell people to look in their town and then to add things that they like. So and add their town and networking. So like for instance, I'll search on Facebook your town and then search networking. Or yep, and then if you search that, it's going to come up. Different things will come up, and then I add almost all of them. Okay, a bunch of different ones on those types of cities. You put it, yeah, you could do just Texas, whatever, just networking. Yep, Texas business networking. I join all of these. Anything with over 10 posts a day. You don't want short ones. You don't want things that don't have very many comments or posts or very few people in it. You always want something that has over 10 posts a day. So I have people add all of this type of stuff. And once you do, what will happen is those groups will be in there and those people will be commenting on them. Those are the people you're going to want to interact with. Okay. I'm sorry. I know I'm going all over the place, but just so you have an idea of where you get the groups, what you'll do is these groups. So for instance, a blogger, say for instance, he added that blogger travel group. Okay. This person would be somebody that he may want to interact with because, say, for instance, originally, say that said Texas bloggers, okay? That's somebody that lives local to him. That's now somebody he's going to want to network with. Somebody that's going to be that's somebody that he's going to want to start talking to. So a lot of times I'll click, if you click on their name, though, you actually click on the person's name, for instance, it says add friend. I add friends, okay? Because I sort all of this by who lives local to me. So I don't follow a bunch of groups that are not local to me or not something that I'm in niching, engaging with, that don't have a lot of common interests with me. So I'll sit here and then you can add these people because guess what? They're going to have common interests with you, and I will comment on their posts from these groups. So immediately they see me, they're willing to add me because we're all talking already, compromise, like talking back and forth. To quickly find the active friends, you'll go to menu, feeds, friends. That would be the direct steps. Menu feeds friends or menu feeds groups. If you're on a computer, it looks a little different, but it's still the same type of steps.
That's awesome. I mean, because again, this is all about making it efficient, so you could do this faster, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. And these little tricks, because again, we were always doing things like, oh man, I've got to go find people. Who do I comment on? What do I do? Now you know exactly where to go to. The feeds are right there, and you can always go through. And what I love about this tactic as well is it allows you to clean up your feed, like you said. You know, get the ads out. Make it like, oh, I don't even know why I'm in that group. I don't even know why I'm in any of those blogging for travel groups, to be honest. So I want to clean it up because again, like you said, you're responsible for your community, and what you're seeing on Facebook, you are responsible for, and you want to be always cleaning it out there. Anything else, Tiffany, that you do? Because I mean, I know you do a lot of different things on social media, and you're always testing the algorithm and trying things. But is there anything that you're outside of like the 1, 2, 3 and what we're doing 2 posts a day? Anything that you're focused on social media that's working for you?
So for me, it's definitely okay. The way I train everybody, for me is that when you're going to do the social media sandwich, all right, what's working for me drastically as well as my team, is you want engagement immediately on any kind of social any kind of post. All right, if you post something and there's no engagement within minutes of the post, if you have a Facebook, for instance, that only has a few people, okay, not everybody has 5,000 friends that are going to be commenting. You may only have 500 friends, but a lot of them may not be active at that very moment. And so if you post, even if you've been in this industry for a while and you don't have very many friends, you post, it may be a dead post. All right. If you don't share that post, like we have a social media share chat, okay, for purposely. I'm going to tell you the way I train is you do your 10 comments in to the new that feed, okay, that I was just showing you about. You do the 10 stories, you do your post, that is a product post, and then you share that post immediately into the social media like share chat, okay, immediately. And then you go back, do not respond. Everybody knows, do not respond to nobody. You're going to be getting comments. Do not respond to nobody during this time. You then finish your sandwich. You go back to another 10, you go back to your another 10 stories. Okay. After that, then go sit here and you make sure you go back into that chat. You also respond to other people in that chat because that also boosts your algorithm as well. All right. By commenting to other people. All right. And they're going to comment to you. Facebook sees that you're commenting to them and that they're commenting to your posts. Even though they're they're brand partners, it is going to start pushing your post out into the world of Facebook, okay? Because social media, they like social content, all right? Not dead content. If it's dead content and nobody sees it, Facebook is not going to push it out to social media. It has to be shared. It has to be seen, whether it's brand partners or not. That is how social content gets shared in Facebook's world. That is just how it works.
Well, and I want to, with your permission, because I always like to have permission.
Yes.
With your permission, can I show your social media?
You can. I just posted one a second ago, and I didn't do an engagement saying because I'm on here. So,
Well, and,
but go ahead.
here's why I want to show people this. So if you want to know, like, again, this is not like, hey, everyone go comment on Tiffany Hardy stuff and go follow her. That's not the purpose of this. The whole idea is that the reason I want to show this is because the people that you want to listen and hear from are the people that are doing this. And so the first thing you ask somebody is like, hey, when did you do your pin post? How long has it been up? And Tiffany, it's been since May 14th, and she's had her pin
Mhm.
post up, and she has 342 comments. So she is doing the system. She has done the system. Now, of course, you can start and launch and do your pin post whenever you want to. But again, the way that she's doing is the way that we're talking about this all the time. And if you scroll through her post, you're going to see content posts. You're going to see posts about the drops. You're going to see some recognition stuff. But again, as you scroll, you're going to know what Tiffany's up to. Hey, she's doing laundry. That's real.
Mhm.
And that's what it's about. Because again, the whole idea.
I'd say neither on that.
Neither, right? Was that a question?
Dishes or laundry.
Oh yeah, neither.
Dishes
You've
or
made.
laundry.
So all of these, and
Family.
family, I just want to scroll through it because again, as you're scrolling through, then all of a sudden you see this. And that's what it comes down to is that when you're sharing on social, you want people to scroll and engage with you,
And get to know
get to know you.
Tiffany.
No.
Right? And get to know who you
Mhm.
are, right?
So true. Yeah. And some people asking, what is the share chat? Every team that's on here, usually they have a share chat. I know James Zhang has a share chat they have on Telegram. So there's always some place, hey, you could go start one with yourself. And,
Or
and,
your
here,
team.
and here's the thing about share chats. You always want to use it intermittently because you do want a little bit of organic things, because if you do have people that are all in PartnerCo commenting all over stuff, guess the only people you're going to see is people in PartnerCo. So you want to use it intermittently so people are being able to boost up your post, but then you're also looking for organic engagement as well. Because again, this is not a post and pray. This is not like, oh, I'll make a post. If I have a shared chat, I put it in there. All of a sudden, these sales will just start raining from the heavens. It
No.
really comes down to this is a tactic that can work, but it's
you
not
use-
the solution.
That you use in addition to what we just went over as far as like how to post,
Yep.
what to post, and your social sandwich.
Yeah.
All of this plays together, right? It's not just one over the other, it's all together.
So true. Yeah. Awesome.
Tiffany,
Thank
for
you so
sharing.
much, Tiffany. Any other last words before we let you go?
No, it's just making sure that you're actually commenting. I shared something to Angel. I said, and I actually shared it to you the other day, and I was like, you know what? This is proof that this works. I was a girl that I hadn't talked to in 6 months to a year. I had never once commented. Nobody else was commenting on her page. And so when I was scrolling, I literally seen something. It was the most basic thing. It was literally, I think it was like I don't even know. It was an animal on a TikTok type thing or whatever. And I literally just commented on it just for I don't even know, just because she never got any comments on her page. And so I commented on it, and guess what? She literally came back to my page and asked me for information on the drops. And I hadn't talked to her, and it's been at least 6 months to a year. So just little things like that look for, because you never know who's going to be the next person.
So true. Yep. And that's what we're doing. Thank you so much, Tiffany, for all your insight. Show Tiffany some love in the chat if you got some value from that. When we saw that, we're like, we have to share this with everybody.
Yes.
Because again, these little tiny hacks are what's going to make social media easier for you. So again, thank you so much.
Also do reach outs. So we also do reach outs ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't just do posts, right? We also do reach out with our team. And for us, like we reach out every day to at least 20 people. Like that can include birthday messages. That can include like, hey Donna, how was your weekend? What are you up to today?
Yeah.
Right. It could be just as simple as that. Like the other day, James sent a birthday message
Oh, yeah.
to someone, and he was like, hey, thanks so much for the birthday message. I'd like to join your business.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like,
Okay.
but again, people are waiting for you to waiting for you to open the door.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're watching and watching and watching and they never reach out. But then you reach out and you're like, hey, Lori, how are you? How's the kids? Or how is your summer going? And like, oh my gosh, it's so great that you asked. Also, I've been watching. I've been wanting to purchase those drops from you.
Well,
You're
and
like, it's interesting. So
you just said something really cool because it sparked an analogy for me, because you said earlier, whether somebody likes, loves, comments, whatever it is, every like or comment that people do, think of it like they're knocking on your front door. Like most people are going to walk by your house and never knock, and you're never even going to know if they saw your post. But the ones that stop, walk up to your door and knock, and some of even try to come in, the ones that are commenting, those are the people that you're like, oh, you want to answer that door and open it up for them. If you don't open it up for them, they'll never ask you any questions.
Favorite reach outs for those of you that are scared to reach out
Mm.
and have just an organic conversation with somebody, is go to one of your posts. Like I posted a picture of my daughter. She was doing a cheer clinic, and I posted a picture of my daughter. She was doing a cheer clinic, and and it got lots of likes and loves and comments, right? Because people love cute kids. They just do. So those are the posts that always get more engagement, right? Because they're just cute.
Go
Um,
get yourself some cute
so
kids.
I would just say, "Hey, Lori, oh my gosh, thanks so much for commenting on my daughter's post. I can't believe I have a third grader. She's getting so big. How are you doing? Tell
Yeah,
me about you."
huge.
It's like my favorite reach out is going to a past post and be like, "Oh my gosh, thanks for the love on my post. When we went to the Bahamas, we had an amazing time. How are you doing? How's your summer going? How are the kids?"
Sounds too simple.
Like it's so like have conversations, guys. This will lead to conversions. I promise you of
Huge,
anything.
huge.
Okay.
Well, here's what we're going to do. So we're coming down to the landing here in a little bit. At the end of this, we're going to talk about the event that's going to go on tomorrow night with Todd Falcone. Who Todd Falcone is? You might be like, who is Todd Falcone? If you caught the corporate call last night with Todd Falcone, put Todd in the chat. We're going to talk about how to promote online these events a little bit. But if you caught that, let me know. But before that, I want to bring on someone who we got to meet at PXP, and her business partner came in guns blazing into this company, and they just bring such an authenticity to this team, to this company, and we're so excited to hear from her tonight because the way they show up on social, it's very authentic. And if you want to follow people, you want to follow people that are authentic because that is what people want in this world. They don't want fake AI stuff. They want people to be real. And that's what Tiffany Ryman has been able to do. And I'd love for her to come on and just share a little bit. One of the things that she is incredible at is, all these tools, all these things that I can do on social media. How do I pick? When do I do it? So Tiffany, I would love for you to share a couple tips and tricks with everybody about how you run social media.
So
Oh,
I'm gonna stop and
oh,
just say thank you for taking the time out tonight to be on this call with us. I know you've had major destruction in Florida there, and you're still going through it with your friends and family. And so thank you for being on tonight. And we're praying for you guys and love that you're contributing on this call tonight. So thank you for showing up tonight.
Well, thank you guys so much for that amazing introduction and honor, and thank you for the prayers. It has been a lot, but we're coming through it really, really well, and we're really grateful for the circumstances that we've been left with. We're blessed, even though there's chaos all around us. Just really appreciate you guys, and specifically Angel. You've reached out very intentionally with no agenda other than just to love us. And I just want you to know that I have felt valued because you have taken the time to reach out to me multiple times. And you guys, that's just another thing that I want to touch on is we're in relationship marketing. This is a people business, and people are always the prize. I guarantee you, if you ever lose your business, if you ever have to start over, if I like just out of this world circumstance takes your business out for any reason, I've lost one. I can testify to this. Okay. We held on, Elizabeth and I, we held on to our last company because of our people. Bank account empty, wouldn't leave because of the people. And so just know every single day, if you are showing up and you're thinking about serving people first instead of adding to zeros in your bank account, your posture is always going to be on point, and you're always going to feel good about what you're offering to the world, rather being in this, I need to fill my tank first. I know that when we get on an airplane, we put our oxygen on first, right? Like, I get it, but I'm just saying, having a posture of service and having thanksgiving and gratitude is always going to be the thing that's constantly filling your cup whenever you're serving other people ahead of yourself. You'll feel good about your business. So just wanted, I know that took like 5 minutes to say thank you, because you have greatly affected me by your reaching out to me. So let that just be the intro and the introduction. Just go do that, you guys. Just go be nice. It goes a really long way, I swear. We all need our cups filled. So, okay. this was brilliant. Tiffany was brilliant. I learned so much just by what she shared. The shortcuts to the groups. I've got 4 kids. I'm extremely busy. We have ministry. We have other businesses that we do, and it's chaotic. So any shortcut that I can grab onto, I want it. And I'm like, how can I go get in a room with Tiffany and have a master class? Like, this is the best part, you guys, about network marketing. You have got access to brilliant minds. You've got access to people that have outstanding skills and have paid incredible prices for them. Some of them is in dollar bills and some is School of Hard Knocks, but still, there's no better place to be in than these rooms right here. You'll grow faster, you'll go faster, you'll go harder. Just plug in and do the dang thing. All right. Okay. So with that being said, I don't have to regurgitate all this incredible goodness, but I just want to touch on a couple of things because we have incredible systems and within this team. We have these systems. We have some of them. They're referred to as maybe the machine. I don't know all the names. I'm still too new to know all of those. But we have automations. We have systems. We have groups that you can point, your prospects to get all of the value. But we still have to grow our skills as individuals. We can't always just depend on a system. What if the system breaks? What are you going to do? What about like being blind and not having eyes on your business, knowing how people are engaging with what they are seeing from the machine? Okay. So it's our job not to always be passive, but be intentional to host and have conversations with the people that are engaging with us on social media. So just to cover a couple of things, because we get asked these questions quite a bit. We haven't gotten into a lot of training in our team because we've just been like pointing everybody to all of the good stuff over here and to the other Facebook groups because there's just so much information. But just a couple places on social media where you're growing and how you can authentically grow your business and the purposes of those things. And then how do we take the tools that PartnerCo has given us and intermingle those things? So first of all, on social media, you've got reels all day long that are meant to help expand your organic market. When you're doing Facebook Reels, you're getting new eyeballs on this content all across the world, random people. And this is because Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, they're all fighting one another for all the attention. So it's like who can put out the most short video content as fast as possible and how many eyeballs can we get on it, because we want people on this platform. Facebook wants your attention. We don't want them to own our attention. We just want to take advantage of it. Bottom line. All right. You don't want to live on Facebook. You got to work on your business and you got to be in your business, but you have to be very diligent about the time that you're committing here. Okay. But Facebook wants you on the platform. So one of the ways that they do that is they push out your content through Reels. So take advantage of that. You have a media vault. You don't always have to be making original content. Go to your media vault that's provided for you by the team and start grabbing some of those movable pictures and graphics and just plug them all together, put some music to it, put it out there, and let Facebook and Instagram do its thing by organically extending that reach so that you're not always having to be trying to organically connect through adding people. Even though the way that Tiffany said to do it, I'm gonna do it. But I'm just saying, this is the way that you can post and kind of ghost a little bit and get some followers. All right. So Reels is where it's at, short video, it's very important. And then just like Angel said, your Facebook feed, it's the blog, it's the heart stuff, it's the value, it's somebody that they just learned about you through a Facebook reel, but now they want to go and they want to sneak on and like get a sneak peek of what you're all about. So they're going to start reading that copy. They're going to see, is this person like an actual human, or is she just that influencer kind of person? Like, They want to get to know you. So your Facebook feed is that place that they can come and have a little bit closer proximity with you and start learning more about who you are, join into the storyline. Okay? So that's just another thing about your feed. However, on your feed, unless somebody's commenting or unless they are liking, you're not seeing activity. It's invisible. You don't know. It's kind of like whenever you have a website and then you get that awesome like little notification that says you've got some unique clicks on your website. You never know who's looking at your stuff. But there's another place that we have access to that, and that's in your stories. Okay? So make sure on the daily, if you're waking up and your hair looks like this, it's okay. Somebody wants to see you be real in your stories. Go ahead and be like, rough night. Them kids, they were crazy. They got up 6 times, interrupted sleep. I am exhausted. Do you see these bags? Yeah, they're real. And I'm sorry. I'm gonna put some puffy stuff on there and we're gonna take care of things today, but I gotta get to my drops first, top priority. And then like you're doing your drops, right? You're on your way to Carline. Christian and I, we call it Carline Chronicles. They are crazy. We could make an entire series of the nonsense. Throw that stuff into your stories, and then you can be a little spammy in your stories, guys. Your stories are very forgiving because it's 24 hours. It's 24 hours and then it's gone. It's clean and you can start over the next day. So the awesome part about these stories though is you get to see eyeballs. Okay? Let's just say for instance you did a set of 5 stories. Okay? You always want to start out probably in the beginning. Sometimes you don't want this in the very beginning. That first slide is very powerful. If it's beautiful, if it's got good color, if it's moving a little bit, 400, 500 eyeballs can be on that thing. There's been times where I've started out with a Facebook reel that I shared and it had like 26 views on it. It's just ridiculous. So smart, okay? But you get these eyeballs and you can see who's engaging with your stuff. And I shouldn't say engaging yet, because if there's not a click button or something like that, then, but you can at least see if they are watching. You can see their face. You can see when the drop off is. So if you did 3 before and afters back and back, and then you see that some off, it's probably going to give you a tiny little hint, not necessarily the content that they want to see. They're just not ready to see and enjoy that part of the journey with you yet. That gives you a little bit more insight so that you're not actually to that person that just dropped off to their inbox and being like, hey girl, do you see them drops? Right? Okay, we're not doing that with that particular person. So I'm just telling you that the visibility, pay attention to the tools that Facebook or Instagram is giving you. They're telling you who's watching. It's insight. Okay. So those are really important. And also use those eyeballs as a way to follow up into your engagement sandwich too. Who in the world has just watched multiple stories? Slide up immediately. Like you can click on their little dot, you go in their stories, what's going on, and start engaging, start engaging, start engaging. It's a shortcut and it helps you to be able to bend a tremendous amount of time and be social with the people that are following you, okay? Because they're already in your inbox, you can see them. What was the other thing that I wanted to share? Groups, the reason that I love Facebook is because it is community centric. So just make sure that if you're inviting people to a group, use it as a tool to follow up with them and give them nice little subtle touches. If somebody wanted to have information on the drops, they've been invited into the group, tag them in a testimony, and this can be 4 and 5 days later. It usually takes multiple exposures. It can be all the way up now, guys. We receive over 5,000 marketing impressions per day. We are desensitized. We're not in a buying posture 24/7. We're just not. In fact, sometimes our hands are just like, we are resistant to it. So how can we help somebody create an awesome experience with us, we give them those subtle touches, tagging them in a post, going back to the messengers being like, hey, I know that you wanted some information on the drops a bit ago. Just wanted to let you know that I just tagged you in the so-and-so group about a brand new testimony that just dropped that sounds like it relates to the issue that you had. And then you speak to the symptom, or you speak to the benefit that they were wanting to receive. With that being said, that's pretty much all, just like all the social stuff that I kind of wanted to touch on, especially since we're going into promoting to groups, really driving behavior towards whatever the activity is, whatever the call to action is going to be for the week, whether it's prospecting and it's a group event for an opportunity, or whether it's going to be for product centric. Make sure that whatever your team is promoting that week, that your content is in alignment with the event that it's going to be coming up, and then we drive to the event. That's also going to help you be able to get a really great cadence and rhythm with what to post on a regular basis, especially in your stories. We have fire hosed you with tonight, and we're not done. And I'm not going to talk about the app yet, I promise, but I love it.
Yeah, and
Yes.
there's so many tools that we can use, right, that are out there, and that's really what social media is. It's a tool, and you perfect segue to where we're going next. Because I just I wrote down a half a page of notes of everything you just said, because it's you're gonna get so many nuggets from everybody. Your job here, and I love what you talk about in terms of all the social media that you do, because it's all about stories. It's being authentic. You are a storyteller. You are not a seller. And so it's borrowing stories, it's creating your own story, and it's using Reels and Facebook and all the different things to tell that story. So people go, oh, I think I want to read that story. And that's
And your Facebook this past week, and obviously through the hurricane, was your vulnerability.
Yeah.
Like, you were sharing like what was truly going on, how you were feeling in that moment. And a lot of people would shy away from that, right? Because they want to see the highlight reel every time. But you actually show like the raw and real of like what you were going through. And so, I was even telling James, I have a post tomorrow that I'm going to post. It's pretty vulnerable. And I'm like, I need to be more vulnerable, because people want to know you more.
Yeah.
And they'll lean into you more, and they'll trust you more when you're more vulnerable, right? It's a hard word for me to say. But I love that about your feed is you're very open, you're very vulnerable,
great. Yeah.
transparent. You tell a lot of stories, which is really good. And so, yeah, so
Awesome.
good. Show Tiffany some love. That was amazing.
Yeah, Tiffany, thank you so much for sharing that, because again, we when we do these calls and we do these community huddles, maybe we'll do them in the future again. Who knows? Maybe this won't be the last one, because again, you never know what you're going to get from these tips. One thing could change the course of your entire business. So
100%.
definitely show Tiffany some love. And she mentioned at the end of what she was talking about is, how do you promote events? And we're not going to dive into all of the psychology of promoting events, because there is a lot of little tiny pieces to it. We want to touch on it as we end tonight's call, because when you see events, whether it's a Wednesday thing that James does, or it's a training that someone does, everything is an opportunity to promote and share another story that might get an eyeball, a glance from somebody that you don't get. And when you do transparent posts like that, you'll get different eyeballs to look at you.
And you get to leverage other people.
Yeah, huge.
Other people.
People will believe other people's stories more than yours, because they know you as you. They're like, what does James know about that? Like, what does James know about hormones? I don't know anything about hormones, but I can share some stories of people that do know about hormones.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. So what I want to share with you that we're going to be doing over tomorrow is, tomorrow night, Wednesday, October 23rd, we're going to be hosting an event that's open to everybody. Now, you might go, oh, wow, that's an awesome graphic, I'm going to share it. No, don't share the graphic on your personal profile. Now, you can share in your team chats, you can share it in your group if you have them. But what you want to do, I want to show you how to promote events very effectively. Because we've done this before. I've done it for the Breakfast of Champions. You know, I just took a picture of Tiffany. She didn't know it, so I'll promote her Breakfast of Champions on Thursday. And so again, you know, all these different things, you don't want to promote the actual event graphic. I'm going to show you how I do it, and then you can take your own spin on it as well. But tomorrow's event, just so you know, go to toddfalcone.com. You'll learn all about Todd. Todd's been in the industry for over 3 decades. He came from literally answering an ad, and he wanted to make money. That was 30 years ago. He was a top income earner for many years. For the last 19 years, he has been an industry expert. He's spoken in 30 countries, written all different books, and he really is a proponent for network marketing, not because he is in network marketing. It's really because he has so many options of ways that he could potentially make money, but he chooses to be a proponent of network marketing, and not just network marketing, but PartnerCo.
Yes.
And so tomorrow night's event will be a discussion between James and Todd about, is a home-based business still a better way? With all the influencer models, and we just saw another company change, or I think they're going out of business. All these different things, like what's going on? Why is this happening? Is this a good place to build a secure business? That's what we're going to tackle tomorrow. And that's what James and Todd are going to talk about. That's why it's kind of like a verse type of thing. And so it'll completely recorded so you can catch it. But what I want to show you is how you would potentially promote this. So again, now you might not have a picture like this, but you can do this in other ways. So Todd's a friend of mine. I've known Todd for many years. And so the way that I'm promoting this is I'm going, hey, you know, I'm having this call with my friend Todd. If you'd like to check it out, let me know. And I'm asking for people to comment. I'm looking for engagement because I want to get them in Messenger. And when I do this, I'm doing this for 2 purposes too. I'm doing this, one, for the purpose of potentially creating new conversations. And I'm doing it for my team to be like, hey, we're having an awesome call. So again, I'm doing it for 2 purposes. Know that you don't have to just make a feed of, I'm trying to get sales. You can literally have your feed be multifaceted and for different purposes, but use a picture. If you have a picture of you and James, if you ever took a picture of you and James, you know, use that picture of James Zhang, because he's going to be the host, and be like, hey, my friend James is doing an awesome interview tomorrow, and tell a little bit about what Todd Falcone is. And again, that's how you promote events. You get the curiosity for somebody to go, hey, how would I learn more about this event?
I want to show you, we did another event not too long ago
Oh, we did?
with, I'll show you, Tim Sales.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So we did another event call with Tim Sales, and same kind of thing. That's how we promoted it. Right. Here's the important thing. When you go to events, take pictures of people.
Yeah, this is why.
This is why you can start sharing these photos, right? To then sell events and sell, you know, your calls and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's huge.
Promote, not sell. Sorry. Promote.
And again, like everyone said tonight, like, content is king. And so whether you're going to an event, whether you're going to lunch with a girlfriend, whether you're doing anything, those are all stories to tell. So people want to be involved in that story. And that's really what social media is about. Social media is not about sales. You know what social media is about? It's about telling stories. And again, if you want to get good at social media, you don't have to go viral. You just have to get good at telling the story. And your story is different than anyone else's. No one has the same story. So, you know, be careful of copying and pasting stuff. Even testimonials, you know, you really want to get good at how do you share a testimonial, not just, hey, look at somebody lost 90 pounds. You know, why did they lose it? How long did it take for them to lose it? What were they experiencing before that? Share that story with everybody, and bring people in.
And maybe choosing a testimony that talks to your target market.
Yeah,
right.
huge.
Maybe they're your same age, or maybe they're dealing with a lot of things that you're going through that maybe, you know, some friends of yours are going through. Right. Yeah. So definitely think about that too.
Huge. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. This is so much fun. I'm going to go back and watch this. Our first community huddle, it was a blast.
So fun.
And I love the phrase masterclass. That's really what this is. Do you have to like remember every single thing that was said tonight? No. Take one nugget out. Share one nugget with your team. Go back after this call and message a couple people on your team if they were or not on. Ask them, what did they get from the call? Again, it's pulling and extracting those little nuggets. That's what's going to change people's business and really create that confidence that they can go out there and share their own story. So we will get this recording out to everybody. Do not worry. Do not fret. You'll see it in all the groups and all the different places that you're in. We make sure it gets everywhere. And thank you guys so much. Please remember keep Jaden in your prayers, keep Becky in your prayers, and James, and just know that that little baby is a warrior in the making, and he is going to do great, amazing things, even though he's going through little hiccups right now. But we got him. This whole group has got him, and we're holding on to him. So,
That's right.
guys, thank you so much for tonight. God bless, and we will see you on the next one.
Yes.
Bye for now.